Hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this hypnosis recording, you're going to be listening to a weight loss hypnosis session for a client that had lost a significant amount of weight, but then had reached a plateau. A plateau is just a period of time where you're not really seeing any progress, even though you're doing exactly the same things that you were doing before that was leading you to lose weight. And this client was experiencing that. And in the past, if they experienced a plateau for too long of not seeing progress, they would then think, well, this isn't worth it. It's not working. I'm going to go back to what I was doing before. So a plateau is one of the most perilous parts of the weight loss journey because it incentivizes and tests people to check their resolve. Like, how badly do they want this different body shape? And the plateau is a key part of that test. Now, this particular client had a mission, a motive, and that is that one of their children was getting married and they imagined themselves at that wedding wearing a particular dress. They had already bought the dress and the dress required them to lose even more weight, but they weren't losing the weight because of the plateau. So there's a couple of things that you're going to hear in this hypnosis session, and one of them is an element of future pacing. So we actually start with them imagining they're already in their slimmer body wearing this particular dress. And then we have a metaphor of a hidden pantry. So I want you to think, like, if you had let's say there was a famine, there's no food around, there's no food in the supermarket, you would eat the food in your cupboards in your fridge first. And then after that, you would feel very hungry. But then let's just say you discovered a hidden pantry and it was filled with, frozen food and canned food. Well, actually, that gives you additional energy that you didn't even realize that you had. And I would say long-term body fat is a bit like that hidden pantry in the sense that the body has to realize that it can use that fat because it's been around for so long as a store of energy. So there is metaphor in this, there is future pacing, there is direct suggestion. And one of my favorite suggestions when it comes to plateaus is the idea that the longer it takes for the plateau to get through, the bigger the breakthrough. And what that does is it enables you to play this psychological game of chicken where are you going to, relapse and go back to old behavior? Or are you going to keep doing the good choices until the transformation takes place? And I think that's a very empowering way to think of a plateau, that it is a test that you need to pass in order to continue with the next phase of the transformation. Now, obviously, this session was created for a specific client. Not all of the suggestions are going to be related to you. So I'm going to recommend two key things. One of them is a way of booking a consultation call with me. There's going to be a link for you to book that free consultation call. We can have a chat and then we can talk about creating bespoke sessions for you. And the second thing is a free trial. So I've recently launched what I would call a kind of a course, but I would call it like a membership. And it's called The Hypnotist's Secret Circle. And basically within this, you've got a vault, an archive of every single hypnosis recording that I've ever done all in one place. And you get to access that for free as part of the free trial. So if you like my hypnosis sessions, but you don't want to be going on the podcast or YouTube every time to listen to it, and maybe these kind of explanations that I do, you don't really want to listen to that every time you listen to a hypnosis recording, check out the free trial because you've got all the hypnosis recordings without the intro, without the jingles, without the outro, and without my explanation. So if that appeals to you, check that free trial to the Hypnotist Secret Circle. I'll put a link in the description. For now, though, hopefully you're going to get some value out of this recorded session here. So find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, feel a wonderful sense of release, particularly around your eyelids, as they feel heavier and more relaxed. As tension leaves your body, that's it. Feel that ripple of relaxation, starting at your eyelids and then rippling to every part of your face, neck, and shoulders. As you recall a time when you threw a stone into a pond and you saw the ripple come from the point of impact to every part of the surface of that pond. So feel those ripples of relaxation. That's it. Further and increasing their power of relaxation, taking you deeper and deeper relaxed. That's it. And maybe you notice your breathing getting slower. Your breathing getting deeper. And the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you become. And the more relaxed you become, the deeper you breathe. Breathing in resourceful relaxation, and as you slowly exhale, just allow your body to have permission to go even deeper relaxed. So much so that with every breath, you may begin to feel yourself gently descending, like a leaf floating slowly to the ground, peaceful, weightless, supported. And maybe with each breath, you can imagine the muscles releasing all of that tension, your shoulders releasing, your neck and stomach just letting go of any unnecessary tension. And your body knows how to get to this place, a place of pure, resourceful relaxation. And I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine a door in your own home. And I want you to imagine standing in front of that door. But I want you to start thinking of what's on the other side of the door. I want you to imagine that this door within your imagination has become a portal to the future. That as you open and walk through this door, you will arrive in a different place, a wedding venue in the future. So let's walk through this door into the future. A future version of you where you will have lost sufficient weight so that when you wear a particular dress for a particular occasion, you will feel slim and elegant. Standing in front of that door in your home, 5, putting your hand on the handle. 4, turning the handle. 3, opening the door. 2, walking through the door. And 1, closing the door behind you. As you now imagine yourself in this wedding venue, just about to try on a dress that was purchased for a very special occasion. Perhaps you could imagine yourself in a guest room with a full-length mirror. And as you look at yourself in the mirror before you try on the dress, I want you to get a sense that you have broken through at least one, but maybe more, plateaus. And by having the patience and the foresight and the consistency to keep making great choices, that's what got you in this room about to wear this dress. So see yourself in that full-length mirror. See yourself looking slim, and focus on the parts of your body that let you know that you've lost unwanted or unnecessary body fat. And when you're convinced that the future version of you is that slim, healthy shape, then imagine putting on that dress. And I want you to imagine how confident, elegant, and at ease you feel wearing that dress. Notice the color, the fabric, the texture, even the complementary hat that matches the same style and the same color. I want you to get a feeling that this is your future. But to get to this future requires building on top of already strong foundations. I want you to get a sense that you are already on track to make progress towards this future. This won't happen by accident or luck. As you look at yourself wearing that elegant, stylish dress, I want you to come to the conclusion that what got you there was your choices, your consistency, and even your patience. The patience to keep doing the right things, even if in the moment you're not seeing the progress that you wanted. I want you to think back from the future about all those times you chose health over habit. Maybe you can recall those social events that it was fine for other people to overindulge, but you chose not to. Maybe you can recall how many of those Tuesdays that you decided to choose not to eat. And maybe you can recall those days that you walked for longer and further than you normally did. And what if this destination wearing this dress was lots of consistent, healthy choices compounding over time that got you to that destination? I want you to think of a car journey. A car journey has a destination in mind, but what gets you there is hundreds, if not thousands, of tiny movements. The movement of an indicator, of an accelerator or brake pedal, tiny movements of a steering wheel. You don't just get to the destination, but when all of those tiny little things become automatic, it can feel simple. You might tell someone, if they ask, "How did you get here?" One chunk of information explains it all. I drove. Even though you made the choice to get into the car, to turn on the ignition, to put it into gear, to move, and to adjust and adjust and adjust. But those 1, 2, 3, 4,000 tiny things can all be encapsulated into the word drove. And maybe we can encapsulate everything into one word that helps you to continue on your journey. And maybe that word is choose. If you want to eat less, you can choose. If you want to miss a meal, you can choose. If you want to walk more steps on a particular day, you can choose to do so. If you want to have a smaller portion size, that's a choice too. And what if a plateau that you experienced was just a psychological game of chicken? A test to see if you would go back to old behaviors, old habits. I want you to think of your home. I want you to picture the cupboards, perhaps in your kitchen. And I want you to think that if you weren't going to go to the supermarket for a few weeks, then you would need to eat what is in your refrigerator or cupboards before you ran out. And I want you to come to the conclusion that your body has already done that. But I want you to imagine what it would be like if there was a hidden pantry somewhere in your home, filled with the kind of food that can last a long time, maybe cans or frozen foods, that if you had forgotten or didn't know about that hidden pantry, then you would have the desire to go to the supermarket to replenish the cupboards. But I want you to imagine discovering the hidden pantry, knowing that this is a metaphor for your body to find hidden fat reserves that you may have been holding on to for many years, so long that your body doesn't even realize that this is a source of energy. But I want you to come to the conclusion that as you discover the hidden pantry, your unconscious mind starts to figure out those old body fat cells are in fact a source of energy. They can be turned into usable energy for the body. But the only way for the body to find those hidden fuel reserves is for you to remain consistent and patient through the plateau. Because when your body discovers that hidden source of energy, well, then your hunger and appetite will go down even more. Because why would your body need new food when it's found so much of that energy within you? From this point forward, you will consider that old body fat like a hidden pantry, a reserve of energy kept for emergencies, energy stored from long ago. And maybe your body is cautious or hesitant, but the longer that you are consistent, the more your body trusts that this plateau is not failure. It's a runway to the very next breakthrough. And maybe you've noticed that small regional airports have shorter runways than international airports. The longer the runway, the further the aeroplanes can fly. And what if the longer the plateau, the bigger the breakthrough, the bigger the adaptation, the more your body transforms to this healthy, lean, confident shape. Consider this a friendly standoff. That part of your body that doesn't want to adapt is hoping and wishing that you'll go back to those old behaviors, those old habits, just as you've done in the past. These cravings, these thoughts, these urges are there to test you. But I want you to feel unfazed by the test. You want to be tested because you're different now. You don't even flinch because you know every healthy choice, every reduced portion size, every extra step is training your body to adapt. And when it does adapt, that becomes the next big breakthrough. So as you find yourself wearing that dress, looking at that full-length mirror, you get a sense that in order to be wearing that dress, you won the standoff. You won that psychological game of chicken. Your body did adapt, and the evidence is the dress you're wearing. So I want you to imagine leaving the room and joining a celebration where you're surrounded by people you love, people you know. And I want you to imagine how good it would feel to hear the compliments. You look amazing. How did you lose all that weight? Imagine hearing all the kind of compliments, and to be able to link them to you winning the standoff, you choosing to make those choices. Because your success can't be attributed to an injection, a fad diet, or something else. It can only be linked to the choices you made. And that's what makes you feel so good. Not just because you're this shape, but because you earned it. You created this body shape from the choices that you made. So consider the recent past as a stepping stone, a foundation, a point to review and recap so that you can pursue through the plateau, feeling re-energized, recommitted, more enthused, with a bring it on attitude. You will keep making these healthy choices until your body adapts. And the longer it takes to adapt, the bigger and more magical the transformation will be. And if your unconscious is aware and on board with this plan of resilience and adaptation, let me know by nodding your head. So imagine enjoying that celebration, feeling comfortable, confident, slim and elegant, knowing this is your future because you chose it, you intended it. It simply will be done. So it's time to leave this journey in your imagination. Imagine walking back through that same door, back into your own home, but realizing that all of this are just thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, and dreams within dreams, and it's time to return back to the here and the now. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. That's it. Connect and calibrate into the here and the now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. And if you've enjoyed this show or got some benefit from it, you may know of one other friend or family member that may also benefit from this hypnosis session, in which case I'd like to ask a favor of you, and that is if you could spend 10 seconds to share this episode with someone that you know that may also benefit. That would really help me to access new people that don't already know about this show. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you again on the next episode.